And there's a lot of different stuff in the hive, a lot of different reasons why it's there. Any questions, just holler at me. We'll go all the way to the bottom. All right. This is called a bottom board. Just exactly what it is, just the bottom. This is called a reducer. You can make your hive where it's only got that much opening, or just take it out completely. If it's a super, super strong hive in the summertime, I might go to this size. 99% of the time, that is all they need. There's wax moths that can get in your hive. It helps slow down hive beetles. Sometimes I've seen wasps in these, not the killer wasps or hornets, just wasps. I've seen mice get in these. So it happened. Keep this reducer on there. It lets you control the hive. The hive, the way it's built is there's enough air that flows through the hive even during the 100-degree weather outside during summer. If the bees get too hot, they will come out and just lay on the outside of the hive. I mean, you go out there and there's just a big old ball of bees on the outside of the hive. They're not thinking about leaving, they're not hurt. After sundown, they'll all just go right back in the hive. This, the bottom box, is called a brood box. They call it that because 90% of the time, this is where you want your mama, the queen. You want her to have her eggs in here and the babies in here. When she gets this box completely full, she'll move up. You know, if there's no place to lay, she'll try to go into this box. Okay? If you don't watch and she's in this box, she don't never hardly go down. So then you're out of luck. You put this one's got better. I set this one up for a demonstration. When you get a frame, you put it together and just make it square. Next step is you put wires across it. There's holes drilled in it. And those wires just help stabilize that wax. The wax during the summertime, you know, it's 100 degrees outside. Wax melts at about 90 degrees, basically, and I mean, it's just mush. Here's your wax. Now, if you notice, you got your wires going across, but now you got them up and down. That's a good support. You can turn this, you can look at it this way, turn it over. The wax will stay there. If you didn't have the wires, it just kind of sag and fall out right out of the bottom of it. Just terrible. This is pure beeswax. They've made it, they've cleaned it, they've imprinted it with cells already in it, kind of a start for the bees. The bees will just take this and just start drawing straight out. They have a pattern. To give an idea, there's over 4,000 cells on this side, 4,000 on this side. So if this was completely loaded, there could be over 8,000 babies in it on that frame. Some beekeepers like it easy. This is plastic. Same frame, same basics, but they take a piece of plastic, it's imprinted, got little cell raises, but they've had to go in and coat it with 2 layers of wax just to get the bees to accept it. Without the wax, the bees won't even touch it. The bees hate it, they won't use it, unless it's the last resort. I mean, and they will maybe just make a big corner over here and that's all they'll use of it. They won't use the whole thing like they do on the other frames. Only use what they have to. This is just a frame of old drawn comb. It's been used several times. The darker it gets is the more it's been used. Every time a baby is born, it's like a cocoon, and there's a small micro-thin layer of paper that stays in there. Every time it's born. Every time, then it gets a tiny bit smaller, tiny bit smaller, tiny bit smaller. And every time it keeps getting dirtier, smaller, and they'll eventually just quit using it. They don't like it anymore. It stinks, the holes get small enough that it's hard for the babies to be born in. Sometimes she's got a pretty good size posterior, but she can't get all the way down in there if that cell's too small. Here is a beautiful frame. This one, you can see how it's colored. The more babies that are born in it, the darker it gets. What a bee usually does is, up in here where it's light, they put honey in there. The reason they do that is the baby's born. They have what they call nurse bees. They take care of them when they're like 4 or 5 days old. That's what their job is to take care of the bees, feed the bees. Well, they want the honey close so they can go right down to it, and they don't have to transfer so far. Almost all your frames are going to have that. Okay, I'm going to pass this. It's fine. If you'll look at this, it's got 2 different sizes of cells. There's some big cells here, and then the regular size. Those are, the big cells are for males, drones. They're about half again the size of a queen, or a regular one. If you look at the big cells, see that? Okay, they are at least half again bigger than a honeybee. They're for male only. The female will determine the size of the frame or the hole, whether she wants to lay a male or female egg. When she lays an egg, she has the ability to fertilize it if she wants to. If she don't want to, if she wants a frame of drones, like if the hive gets ready to swarm, she will make a frame of almost completely drones. So when they make a queen cell and for a queen to be born, there's a lot of males out there to mate with her. If there's no drones, the hive doesn't do anything. So they make those. Males do not have stingers. Males got one job only, is to breed. After he breeds, he dies after he breeds. If he doesn't breed, he just hangs around the hive till about October. Weather changes, it starts getting colder outside. The worker bees will take him and push him out the door. The bees will get it around that door and will not let him back in, and he will freeze to death. There's no reason to have a lazy male in the house not doing nothing all winter. Well, that's what the queen told me. There's pictures up here of different queens. There are different varieties. We have in Oklahoma, we have Russian, we have Italian, we have Caucasian, and we have Carnolians. Carnolian and Italians are the number ones that we have. Most of the time we call our bees mutts. My drones will not mate usually with my queen. You know, when I have a virgin queen go out, my drones won't mate with her. I don't know, pheromones or something. So I have no idea who my queen mates with. Over a 2-day period, she will mate probably between 15 and 20 times. When she comes back to this hive, she don't leave it again unless she swarms. She will breed like for 2 days, 3 days, and never again. She can live to 7 years old. She can lay babies up till she's 7 years old. And most of the time, she can still be fertile for 7 years after she's mated. Strange. Like I say, she can determine if she wants to be a male or female. All workers are female. We're all basically half-sisters. Most of them. Some of them is full sisters. I mean, like I say, you don't know who the queen mated with. If she has 15 different types of drone sperm in her. Some have tried to say that they're smart enough that they use the same sperm off of the first bee, then they go to the second bee sperm and the third bee sperm. I mean, that I have no idea, but if that's true, that'd be amazing. Any questions so far? Nope? Okay. But we still that's just a good used frame. The bees have ate all of the honey out of it that they had stored last year. So what we will do, me and Dwayne, we're going to take that long hive, we're going to catch a big swarm this year. I will take some of these good frames, like this one, and we're going to put it in there. That way the bees don't have to make that hive. They don't have to take this and put all that effort into making it. Because now it's already made. If you put a queen on that frame, she's ready to lay. It might take a week before the bees have enough space on here for her to lay an egg. She can lay 1,500 eggs a day. So if it's a week difference, 1,500 eggs, that's like 9,000. That's a bunch of bees that you lost. So we're going to cheat. We're going to do that. Still, there's one that died, but there's still a little honey in it. It's a good start. The bees will either fill it with honey, they'll eat that and start laying babies in it. No problem. Here's a frame that is solid capped honey.
Wow.
This frame, well, that white comb frame, that weighs 1¼ pounds. This weighs 5½ pounds. So it's got about 4½ pounds of honey in it. Honey actually sells basically for 58 cents an ounce. That's a lot of money for this one frame. You do that times 10. That's a lot of cotton picking money. But we're not going to harvest this because it's been down in the frame. The bees have been walking on it. It looks a little dirty. But what do you think the bees will do if I drop it in that hive over there with a bunch of bees?
They'll use it.
They will use it. They don't have to spend their resources making this. I can put this in there and set it back. All right, now they've already got one frame for winter. They're having babies in here all summer long. What we're letting them do in this box actually is we want them to put as much of this honey in this top box as they can. They need probably about 7½ frames of this honey to make the winter. Because from October through March, there's no nectar. The only food they get is what's in this box. So you don't ever want to just steal all the honey from them. You could go in and take this honey and make $400, but you killed the hive. You don't want to do that. All of these parts are readily, easily able to get. I've got parts if y'all ever want to be a beekeeper. I volunteer. You call me. You can come over to my house. I'll let you suit up. We'll go open a hive. I did it with Dwayne. We're still doing it. Dwayne is now my bee partner. If I get ready to go look at a hive or two, I holler at Dwayne and say, hey, you want to go over here? You want to go over there? My back hurts real bad at times. That's my back. But I'm mentoring him so he'll know one of these days I'm going to give him all my hives and just say, bring me the honey. Yeah. With that?
Yeah.
All right. These top boxes, if you notice, is shallower. The reason it is because we put this on, this is our honey. If they live in here and they got this full of honey, when they start running out of honey room, they come up to here. This is what I want. The more they put in here, and you can see this is pure wax, but they started building out comb and they've already started putting nectar in it. You can tell by the color. You can see it. That's honey down in the bottom of that cell. What I'm going to do, I will take this box here in probably about 2 weeks, and Dwayne's got a pretty strong hive at his house. We're going to take this and we're going to set it on top of his hive. That way, as soon as the flowers start budding good, start bringing in nectar, we're going to have them already, going to have them a lot of honey in their box. Maybe they'll give us honey. Okay? This is called a top. Just a slotted cover. You put it on here. That is for you can put this cover on. If you don't have this cover, the bees make what they call propolis. It's sap that they get off of trees and buds. It's kind of a grayish, rubbery stuff. And especially during the cold weather, wintertime, fall, they will put it everywhere they can put it to close up any spot they can close. Every time you open this hive, you have to have a hive tool to get in that corner to pop that loose. Well, since that box goes over this, caps this basically, sticks down about here, there's no way to get up underneath it to pry it. So that way you can just lift that one off, and now then you can open this box. Sometimes they have a slot cut in here. This is called a telescopic. It is longer than the box is. Moves back and forth. If this has got a slot in it, okay, I pull it backwards, it closes the slot. The bees can't get out. During a real good nectar flow, say in May, when the flowers and everything's going, push that forward. That way the bees don't have to go in here, come all the way up to put honey. They can just go right here and they're already in the honey box. Makes it lots easier. Okay? That's this. Alright, just to say, honeybees, the queen takes 16 days from the egg to hatch. The worker bee takes 21 days from egg to hatch. The drones take 24. They're a lot bigger. I don't understand why the queen, that is so much more sophisticated, so much more to do, takes the least amount of time. But she's born at 16 days. She'll stay in the hive, walk around for a couple of days. Her wings will harden up. She might come out, and what they do is they call orientation flight. They'll come out of this hive and just fly around in a circle. And their GPS system in their brain is figuring out, okay, there's where the hole is, and this is where I am, and then they go, and they're gone. And they'll come right back to that hole. You can do that in the morning, take this box and set it on this end of the table at night. There'll be a pile of bees here in the evening because they don't know where their home is. There's kind of a saying, move a hive 2 inches or 2 miles. If you're going to move this box and you want it on that end of the table, today move it about 2 inches. Wait a day or two, move it about 2 inches. Just every day, just slightly. Or shut it up when all the bees enter at night, move it 2 miles, open it up, let them out, let them do their thing. About 3 days later, night, shut it up, take it and put it where you want it again. They come out and they say, oh, we're not in the same spot, we better find out. And they'll reorientate back to the new spot. It works, I've tried it. I moved the hive about 30 foot one time, then I had to move it back. And all day long I kept trying to put them bees back to where they came from. Because some new bees, when they come out, bees are born every day. The new bees, when they come out and orientate, now they're orientated to where I put them this morning. They're not orientated to where they were yesterday. So when most of them went to their own spot, so I moved the box back. Well, now I got a bunch of bees that was born, came out. Now I got to catch them and take them and put them back in the other spot. So 2 miles, 2 inches. Good rule. Right? A queen, she can determine if she wants male, female, like I said, anytime, no problem. Told you about the sorry ass drones. The worker bees, they have jobs. When they're born, the first job, for like the first 2 days, all they do is clean the hive. They clean out the cell they were born in. They clean out any trash or anything they see in the nest. They take it, take it out the front door and drop it and go back in the hive. About day 3, 4, 5 of birth, they start feeding. They will actually get food and start feeding the new babies as they first come out. They'll do that for a few days. Day, say, 8, 9, 10, they start being nurse bees. The new ones are born. They keep them kind of together. They nurse. They're basically babysitters for the brand new bees. Day 14 to 16, something in their abdomen allows them to start excreting wax. And it's only for a short period, like 14, 15, 16 days, they excrete this wax. The other bees, if you have frames that need wax, they'll take that wax, come up here and start building new comb. That's the thing about a swarm. When a swarm happens, usually the old queen and about half of the babies, or half of the hive leaves. They go find someplace else. They will come out of here, they might fly over to that swing set and land. There might be a ball this big around on that swing set. They might be there an hour, they might be there a day. They will send out scouts to go find a new home. We put swarm traps out that's got the pheromones of the queen in it. We put a couple of these real nice frames that's ready to lay in it, hoping that the bees will find it and say, that's a good home, let's just stay there. I have caught several like that. Most of the time, people get scared, they're out in the yard or mowing or something. Oh my God, there's a ball of bees in my yard, what do? Call me. Get another car, get two of them. One on your billfold, one on your icebox. Call me. I'll come and get it. I'll owe you a jar of honey. I'm out now, but I'll definitely give you a jar of honey if I catch a swarm at your place. When they leave the hive, the swarm, most of the bees will go in and they will eat all of the honey they can possibly hold. They will fill up, they'll engorge themselves. I mean, just because they don't know if it's going to be an hour or a day before they get into home. They don't know where their next food's coming from. Swarms don't sting them. You can have a ball of bees over there on that swing set. You actually can walk up with your bare hands, pick up a big handful, and go over here and lay them in that box. Go do it again. Now, if you go over and shake the swing set to get them off, you're going to get stung. But nice, careful, you just go over there. I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of people wearing bees. They're so calm that just nice, easy. Speaking of calm, you know why we smoke. You're supposed to, when you open a beehive, you smoke this hole, and you usually open this lid and you smoke just a little bit. Close it up. Wait a minute. The bees smell the smoke. They think, hey, there might be a fire somewhere. We better go get food and eat in case we have to leave the hive. So most of the bees will go back down. I mean, they could be out on top, you smoke it, and then they'll run down in the hive. They go eat. That's the only thing they can do. It calms the bees. They say that fat bees don't sting. Well, they say that what it is that they're so bloated with food that they can't bend their abdomen to get the stinger in them. Because they eat that much that because they're scared to death they'll starve. That's cool. You smoke. I don't. I get stung. Lots. And lots. More than him. Alright. I'm going to try to get y'all a treat if you want it. I actually have, for this hive, look at that. What is that?
Clean honey.
That is pure raw honey, straight out of the hive, unfiltered. It's absolutely perfect. I've got spoons, if anybody wants to try it. The wax is edible because it's a fresh frame. Being that it's, you know, the frame I showed you here of the honey was kind of dark and all that. They've reused the wax and all that. This they've kept, they put brand new wax over it. If you see my candles today, the bright yellow, this is what makes that bright color because it's clean. A lot of people wants to eat the wax. If you've ever seen in the grocery store, bottles of honey with wax in it or water, okay? What we do, we take a frame, same size, but this one doesn't have any wires on it. We pin it on each end This wax is thinner than the wax that we put in this, real thin. But the bees will go ahead and fill this, build wax out on both sides, put honey in it, and cap it. Then, with it capped on both sides full like this, we cut it out, and we cut it in chunks and sell it as capped wax. That sells great. People love it. Wax is kind of like chewing gum. It's, you know, I mean, you've ate them old whistles at Halloween, them old orange whistles, and plastic lips, and this is better. Would anybody try this?
Yeah.
All right. You take a big old knife, we're just going to take it, and you just start right here, and slice the top off. And like I say, any of this with wax is highly edible. If you don't want to eat the wax, suck on the honey and then spit it out. That'll be some good stuff. But see, I can take this and put this right back in the hive, and the bees will come back and they'll cap it. It's the right consistency. All these cells, I didn't tell you, are, when they make them, they're pointed down slightly, like a 10-degree slice. It's to help hold the nectar and stuff in while they're making the hive. They're all, so we take this, yes, and run sweet stuff. You guys can definitely have some of that. I mean, that's good. But we put that, we take it, we put it in a machine called an extruder. After we cut the top off of both sides, we put it in, and it's a centrifuge. And it starts spinning round and round. Not too awful fast, because it'll throw the wax out. But let it spin. It's better to do that probably end of June, July, when it's about 100 degrees inside, you're sweating. The honey is runny, comes out easy. Turn it over when you're done. Do it again. Does both sides. Honey, when you get it, is not cooked. It's run through like a 400 micron filter, which takes the bee legs, takes the pieces of wax out, but all of the pollen that's in it. You know, they always tell you honey is good for allergies because of pollen. It's still in there. You need on the bottle for somebody to tell you that it is pure, raw honey. Watch if you buy honey at the store, a lot of it will say processed in Tulsa, bottled in Tahlequah. Didn't say it was made there, didn't say it's Oklahoma honey. A lot of it ain't. It's coming in by a million pounds of it from China and stuff, but the United States makes tests to figure out what they put in it. After we figure out what's in it, they change it somehow that it bypasses that test. We say we're not buying any China honey. Okay? China sells it all to Malaysia. Malaysia sells it to us. And I mean, it just, they say some honey goes to 4 to 5 ports before it finally gets here. Just because they want to clear. You want good, local, raw honey. It helps your allergies. I would say anywhere for maybe 100 miles around would be good enough for your allergies. If you've ever been outside, a big old storm blowing in from Texas, you know, thunderstorm or something, the line's coming through, you start sneezing or something, you get allergies or pollen out of Texas. You want pollen from here. It helps. Right? I want somebody to come up here and try this. No double dipping on spoons, I've got plenty. I mean, I took these home and washed them, so they're fine. No, babies under 2 should not
there you
put that
go.
honey.
Yeah, babies under 2 should not have honey.
Can you smell why?
Ma'am,
Reasoning why?
their body won't process it, okay? And it gets to be detrimental to them.
Yeah, it can hurt. Honey under 2 can hurt a baby.
She's going.
So be sure and watch whatever you feed a baby if you suspect it has honey in it. The propolis that Butch was talking about, we make a tincture from that. It's good for allergies, colds, things like that.
Now, don't know if any of you has ever had any fresher honey.
Yes, actually, delicious. Actually,
And I mean, it's fresh. I mean, it's, but it's been
most
cut
likely have
2 minutes.
Yeah, they're allergies.
Never gets so
It's
fresh.
fine. Straight into it.
That's why. A lot of people quit using sugar and use honey. You can use it in baking, cooking. People start using it for sweetening their coffee. They say, which Dwayne might know, a lot of people take like a teaspoon of honey and a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, mix it together and take it. It's a cleanser. It helps clean you out. It's good for you. It gives you antibodies. It helps your allergies. I know a couple people that they do it every day. They take a spoon of honey and a spoon of apple cider. I can't stand apple cider vinegar, but
It's very nasty.
oh, it's nasty.
I drink a cup of chaga tea with honey in it and elderberry every day. Or nearly every day. I'll skip a day or so. Chaga. Chaga is a mushroom that grows on birch trees up north.
Yeah. We've got and that is the door.
If you guys live around here and you see a swarm, please call Butch.
Like I said, it's definitely worth a jar of honey when I get more. Don't have any right now, but you know that you'll be helping the bees, save them. If you decide you're going to collect bees and you want that swarm, if you have the box and stuff to put it in, I'll help you put it in the box. This box here is probably a little 300. Then you add the bees to it. If you catch a swarm, they're free. If you buy the bees, they're over $200. All right, there's a lot left. If anybody wants a second, lay your spoon there and get your new spoon and go again. Can't use your spoon again. You're darn sure welcome to seconds. There's no reusing the spoon. But save them, because I take them home to wash them. Yeah, maybe not this time. Then I'd put a honey super on it.
About the end of May, I need to start bugging my neighbors.
If it's capped. If this is fully capped and you have not treated with oxalic acid, with the honey super on, you treat it with oxalic acid. Yeah. Now, oxalic acid is nature. It's I heard spinach has a lot of oxalic acid. Honeybees, if they have mites, which is like a tick on a dog, it's a mite. It's a little bitty bug on a bee. Oxalic acid will kill it. No, it will not kill the bees. It will kill the mites. But you really, the honey is probably edible, but I don't want to take a chance. I would rather say this is pure, raw honey that I know is perfect. I mean, you can feed it right back to the bees with no problem. Y'all want a sample of honey? Right out of the hive?
It's good stuff.
I still got a paper full of it right here.
Grab your little spoon.
Just get it yourself. Just get your spoon. Get it straight up. No?
Yes,
Here.
Sweet.
Don't use that. Take that, Daddy. And you take Mom. Need another one? All right. Anybody got any questions or thoughts about bees?
I do have a question. So if you have a good strong hive, typically how long would it take to fill that top box? Does it take all season?
Really, really good strong hive, probably a week and a half.
Oh wow. Wow. There's plenty of nectar out there.
They are fast. If it's a good hive, if these 2 boxes are almost completely full of bees,
Yeah.
and I mean, you open the top and all you just basically see is bees, about a week and a half.
So how many bees is probably in a big hive?
These 2 boxes together, if it's strong, probably about 60,000 bees.
Wow.
Okay? 60,000 bees can fill this, say, a week and a half.
Yeah, that makes
If you have 3 hives with 20,000, they'll never put a drop of honey in there.
wow, they'll never do that.
Put a drop of honey in here. If you got like 20, as long as they're in one hive, they've already got the brood, they've already got their food, so now they're ready to put stores up here for you. If you got 3 small hives, they've got to spend all summer just giving them enough food, and usually they don't even get enough for them during the winter.
If they outgrow a hive, they go ahead and swarm.
They usually only swarm in March, April, May. I mean, they didn't swarm this year
Gotcha.
in March. In the next 2 weeks, they're going to start swarming like crazy.
Right.
So they swarm when they're out of room in a hive. Once they decide to swarm, and you come out here, and on the bottom of one of these frames, you'll see a long cell coming in. That's called a swarm cell. Once you start seeing them, it's basically too late.
Gotcha.
Once they've already decided, we're going to swarm, we're making a queen. Your chance now is to try to catch that queen.
Gotcha.
Catch that swarm. Sometimes you can take that frame with all those in there, knock all but about 2 or 3 of them off. Move that frame and quite a few bees over to another box.
Gotcha.
Maybe when it's born, it'll go out, breed, come back,
Right.
and hopefully that will stop this type of swarming.
Right.
But once they start to swarm, it's very hard to stop them.
That's what they call a split, right?
That's a split. Well, a split is before they start making a queen cell. You go in and these 2 boxes are full. You've got a choice. The bees can make a queen out of an egg that is 1 to 3 days old. So if this queen lays an egg and is 1 day old, you can take that frame, move it into another box, and the bees probably will make that into a queen cell.
Gotcha.
Okay? But it has to be 1 to 3 days old. What happens if I kill that queen accidentally? I go like this and she's on the bottom of that frame and I just squished her. They have an opportunity that if there's eggs in here 1 to 3 days old, they will make an emergency queen. Usually they'll take a cell that's up in here and make a longer cell. It's an emergency, so they don't care what they use, just hurry up and get it done. We've got to make a queen. They're usually not that good.
How do they make the queen?
There is a food that they make from nectar and pollen. It's called royal jelly. And it's an enzyme that the bees produce. They feed the queen a bunch of it. Regular bees get a little bit to feed. If it's going to be a queen cell, I mean, they feed her. They put enough in there that she's got almost enough to eat all the time she's in larva stage. And that,
So then they just pick a female bee that they can feed that to and feed it
no,
to?
it has to be an egg, 1 to 3 days old.
Oh,
Any older than that, then they can't make a queen out of it because it's already turned into a larva.
oh, so they feed the egg.
Just as the egg starts to hatch, they start feeding it that royal jelly. And it's kind of strange. An egg is like piece of rice that's like a fourth the size of a piece of rice, maybe a tenth of the size. Little bitty, small, white, oblong. And she goes in and she sticks her tail down in that hole and she lays an egg. Well, it's got kind of a little glue on it and it sticks straight up. Day 2, it starts to fall over a little bit. Day 3, the egg is over. Day 4, the egg actually hatches into a larva and it makes a C shape. It's a little larva laying in the bottom. It's just a little teeny tiny seed. They start feeding it royal jelly. If they only give it so much, then it's just a worker bee. If they make the cell that's long and big enough for the queen to be made, then they'll really feed it a bunch of royal jelly and it becomes a queen. There can be queen cells. I had a hive one time, I had over 50 queen cells on it. They were determined we're going to make us a queen. Now it wasn't a swarm cells, because they were everywhere. They was just all over the frame. Just anywhere they found an egg, they made a cell. I probably accidentally killed the queen. So they were getting it on. It's better not to let the hive make their queen. For $35 in May, June, July, you can buy a queen. Already bred. Most of the time they got a dot on the back of the head so they're easy to see. You get her, you put her in, this is called a queen cage. She's in here. There's a little plug that's got candy on both ends. The queen can start eating on this end. They eat on this end to meat to let her out. You take it and you put it inside this hive and you squeeze it between 2 frames. With this being screened, whether the bees like this queen or not, they're going to feed her. Something in their brain, hey, it's a queen, we got to feed her. They might already have a queen, but they're going to feed this one. As soon as she's ate out, they're going to kill her. But they're going to feed her. Bees they're mean little devils. Woo!
The society that they have never ceases to amaze me. Just their interaction with each other and other hives. It's a very complex society.
The reason I said don't make a queen is because if they have to take an egg and make a queen, from the time the egg was laid to the time the queen hatches is 16 days. It takes her at least 2 days for her wings to tighten up and get ready to go fly. She goes out and she'll mate for 2, 3, 4 days. She comes back, well, she's got to recuperate and her body's got to transform and everything. So now then it takes up to 27 days from the time that the egg is laid to the time she can lay an egg. If I buy a queen in this box for $35, put it in here, within 5 days I've got a queen that's laying eggs in here. I just gained 3 weeks. A queen can lay 1,500 eggs a day. What's that times 3 weeks? 21 days times 1,500? That's a heck of a lot of bees. So in the long run, if you're trying to build a hive to get it strong, you want to buy a queen. If you don't care, if you just want to let them do their own thing, let them build their own queen. But you'll have to really watch the hive. You'll have to probably feed it, starting in about September, October, November. You're going to have to feed it sugar water. Keep feeding it. You might have to feed it more pollen because they need to build up stores enough that they're going to have enough food to make through the winter.
And once she comes out of that hive to mate, there's no guarantee she's going to make it back to that hive.
Yeah.
Birds, a lot of times, catch them out of the air.
They say scissor-tail flycatchers, their favorite food is honeybees. And for somehow they know where the drones hang out and they know where the queens go to. And a lot of times they don't make them back. If you don't want them to swarm, say it, they make 4 or 5 swarm cells on the bottom. They swarm. The queen comes out of here, leaves with half of them. The second queen hatches. She decides she's going to swarm. She takes half of what's left of the bees, and she leaves. So now you're down to 4. Maybe the next queen hatches. I had a hive that was 5 boxes tall. And I don't know, I didn't watch it good enough or something. It swarmed 4 times. and it just barely made the winter. There was just that few of bees in that hive. And I mean, it just, well, take this box off, it's empty. You never want to give a bee more room than it needs. They have bugs, they have mites, they have what they call hive beetles. It's kind of like a ladybug, it gets in there. They lay larvae or eggs. The larvae hatches, it goes up underneath the pollen and starts eating. It starts laying eggs. They hatch, the worms hatch. When they go across the frame, they slime it, like a snail slime stuff. The bees will not do anything with that frame. You might as well take it out, either burn it or cut the wax out of it, put new wax in it, because it's over. That happens a lot. We take what Swiffer sheets, unscented. We cut them in thirds. You lay it right here on the edge, on the inside of the edge. The bees are always trying to keep the hive beetles moving. The hive beetles come up and run across that. Their feet are so small, they get stuck in the fibers. They can't go nowhere, so they can't go down and lay eggs or anything. You can catch them that way. Interesting. Any questions?
When that top gets full of honey, can you put another
Yes.
thing on top and say,
Yes.
hey, keep making me honey?
Yes. As long as they're a healthy hive and as long as this box is full, just let them keep doing it. You might have to check every now and then. If this box is almost full, not quite, I would probably take another box, put it here, and put the full one on top. Let them go ahead and come up, fill this, and then they can fill the bottom. Because they will go ahead and try to fill this. Since it's already got quite a bit of honey in it, they'll want to go ahead and finish this one.
You said something about propolis?
Propolis.
Yeah. What
It
all goes
is-
into that? Into
Come
getting
here.
There's some good one right here.
Here's one right here. Guys, you all need to eat the rest of this honey.
This is it right here.
Have some bee bites.
Well, you know.
You all need to eat the rest of it. Just no double dipping the spoon, please.
Might have some pictures.
And the last person gets to take that plastic home with them if you want to.
Right here, you're allergic to bee sting.
No, I wanted it.
It's kind of, it has a little bit of a resin
Oh, you want.
because it's made from tree resin.
So when you add in a new box, do you smoke the boxes? Or do you just leave it?
You only smoke really when you open the box.
Honey's good for your
The
allergies.
first time I open this box, I will smoke a little bit.
It's like 10 times.
I won't smoke again unless I take this box off and go to this box. I might smoke that box just a little bit. Then if I go down to this box, I might smoke it just a little bit. Just so the smoke goes all the way through. If the bees, it's weird. If they come out of this box and they start circling around, bees will usually tap you. That means, hey, you better watch out. More bugs. We're going to get you. I went home this afternoon, opened up the hive, took this frame out. I didn't have on gloves, didn't have on a suit. Just opened it up, went through the loop. Okay, I put that in there. When I go home this evening, I'll open that up and just put it back in. No suit, no gloves. They're calm. Bees will tell you, you can ask Dwayne, if they decide they're going to sting, you'll know it before they sting you. Yeah, they will tap your suit. They'll tap your head. You'll look up and there'll be 15 bees on the front of your suit. You better not take it off. And if you get stung once, put your suit on, put your gloves on. When the stinger, bee pulls the stinger out, it releases a pheromone. It's saying, guys, right here's the target. And it definitely.
I was working on the hives for Butch off of 52nd over there, there's 2 hives over there. And I usually work these hives, you know, just barehanded just like this. And I was just putting sugar in, it's real cool that morning, not too bad. It was warm enough I could open the hive up and just check them. And I was checking the sugar blocks in them. One hive picked it up, there was bees in it, moving around, no big deal. I put the sugar blocks in it, tied it back up. And I'm probably, as far as from here to where that white car is out there, okay, in the pasture, from the hive. I opened the second hive up, and the moment I opened it up, they come. One of them hit me, didn't sting me, but hit me. And then they come out of that house, I put the lid back on it, and I took off running to my car. Because I knew if I didn't get my suit on, they were gonna get me. And I probably got from here to the end of this little corral thing right here before they decided to leave me.
I went all the way to the barn, around the barn, to the house, and they can still chase me.
When they get in their little head, they're gonna get you.
And if a bee ever comes up by you and starts buzzing you, do not swat. First time you go like that, you just tell him, I bet you can't. You might push it away, and you just kind of walk away. But if you swat at it and you miss, you're stoned.
After a while, you'll get to where if it lights on you, you just
Just stand there, look at it, and just push it off.
Oh.
Don't let it flick. Don't. You, like I say, you make them mad. The pheromone comes out, and if one gets you, the rest of the house doesn't think about it.